Welcome all, and surprisingly, we were able to do it for the 10th time. So great! It's all you guys who are doing it. I'm just, managing the show. So let's move ahead. The normals, as in our participation, which is going pretty well. As I said earlier, I don't care till the point there is one person who is available for me to talk with. And then it's around registration as we normally go, because this is still a common question that I keep on getting. Every week, this page get updated, would have been updated for the next week now. You can just come here, watch past meeting recordings from the same page, and also add your questions that you have, and the registration link is get updated every week. And this is the URL, the short URL, bcopendiscussion with .ly. So yeah, feel free to add your questions as we go forward. So before I move to this week questions, I had some follow-ups, I guess, from Kiran and Manish from the last week. So I have some response for Kiran. I still have to work on Manish's request. Manish, I didn't get time this week, but I'll make sure that that happens as soon as I get some time.
Sure.
And Kiran, here are some links that will be able to help you. And let me open these if I can. Okay,
Okay,
working.
sir.
So if you want to take a screenshot, this gives you a demo of one control item on the page where there's a way to kind of condition color it. Let me see if I can open that link from here. It will show me that option. Let me go back one step and open that link for you. I haven't explored it much, but I saw the comments which look pretty optimistic to me. So here is the first link where it's showing you how you can change the color, and there is an object attached, page 50188, where he explained how need to be done, and then there was some questions, and then he explains you what you need to move from your role tailor client to the add-in folder, these 4 files. And with that, this happens. The other link that was there, let me open that too, is also from MyButsu, and the same person is answering that question, which is around the changing the height and width of that control if you want. Okay. So these are the two links. I hope that they help you when you try to fix that problem. As I said earlier, I would not recommend that to my customer, because that will be a problem at least when they upgrade to Business Central in future. So, but if they need it, then this is the way.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Welcome, man.
I will
Coming
try
back,
these
go
two
ahead.
links and let you know.
Okay, sounds good. So coming back to our normal questions, I guess we have 5 questions for today, and then we can open it for discussion. The first one is from Hardik, and is Hardik here? I don't see him. And this is around mobile, accessing nav from mobile. And if I remember it correctly, I have written a blog around phone client. Let me search for it. I find it. So I have written it on nav 2016, that how you configure the phone client. And Hardik, I'm pretty sure that the steps are same. In summary, what I remember is you need to have a self-signed certificate, or you need to have a purchase certificate from a certification authority that you will require to configure the phone client. If you are planning it for demo, then you can use self-signed, as this article talks about. If you are using it for production, I would recommend to purchase a certificate, SSL certificate, because that's around security. And it goes through all the steps, how you install that certificate, how you create the user, set in passwords, I've created a separate service so that it doesn't interface with normal client services. You add certificate thumbprint on it, and then you update the client config, append that certificate on the web client, because that is what will get exposed. And once that is done, you'll be able to install that same certificate on your phone and then use that thing on the tablet client, Rolltail client, or the mobile client. Like this is from my mobile at that time. So yeah, if you have a specific issue, let me know. But I hope this article will help you in the same way as it was written for 2016. I'm pretty sure it works in the same way in NAV 2017 also. Okay. Next one is from Shahid, and he's here, and he wants to change the size of description column in item table as well as all other related table. So Shahid, do you want to explain what you are trying to do? And if you are saying something, we can't hear
Actually,
you.
yeah. Actually, my need is that in some cases, item description are, bigger in one of my project, and they are not compromising to get, in using two description. So they like to change it, in bigger size. So that's why I like to change it. And I know that if I change the table description related purchase order and others, and I need to change. Though actually I made a solution. Adding new column in item description and also adding in purchase order. But I have to change as well. Although in future I may for other cases I may apply the.
So how big you want it? I guess it's pretty big already, right? It's already 100 or more than that. Let me just check that. What is the size of item description?
100.
100, yeah. So you want more than 100?
Yes.
What kind of description it is, man? And did you heard about extended description that is part of the base?
I also look forward it, but also problem is there because it's creating several lines for one item, and it's not look good in reporting.
So in reporting, you can consolidate that into one single line while writing your report, right? That you can do, and that's kind of control that you have in your report, that you can do a set range on your extended description and then consolidate that into one text variable if that's the only problem.
Yes. Actually, I did not think about it. It's a good idea.
Yeah, because if you use that extended text, it will automatically come to your sales and purchase documents, right? When you use that item, and there is a button to kind of add that extended description. And I don't know what kind of description you want, but if you want, then these are the options, like where you want to copy this, show on sales and purchase. And then whenever you create a document using this item, this will get copied, and which will also get posted on your poster documents. And then you can always consolidate that info in your report printing using a text variable.
Because there is a can I ask, there's a margin facility, but I did not find it in 14.
What facility?
A margin facility of, this extended text margin facility.
Margin.
Margin. Adding both all the descriptions, extended description in one field.
Where it is? where you saw it?
I saw in a video, but I was unable to correlate in Business Central 14.
I don't know. Anybody else know about it, guys? I don't know that there is a way to consolidate all those extended text into one in base as in. There will be an, there will be an app that can be written for it, but I don't think it's possible in the base. Anybody else heard about it?
I saw the video in user, sales interface. That in sales interface, there is a options merging like in this extended text, but I was unable to find it out.
I have no idea. Anybody else know about it?
No, Saurabh.
And the video uploaded maybe use dynamics. There is a site use dynamics.
You might want to send me a link. I can quickly go through it and let you know that is it base or is it, is it a custom app that somebody has written?
I will send you the link.
Yeah, because I maybe I don't know it, but I'm not sure that even it's possible. If it is, then that's something new for me also, and I can surely have a quick look into it and let you know maybe in the next meeting that what I understand from that.
Sure, I will.
Okay, let me see what happens here. It doesn't come by default, and then you go to line and do a insert extended text. Okay, so this is what it is. I don't see an option to merge these anywhere. But yeah, send me that. I'll surely have a look on it, and I'll let you know what I think about it once I have a look on it.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now. So maybe I will share in today's session later.
Okay, so next is from Jignesh, and Jignesh is here. Yeah. So Jignesh have this issue during upgrade to Business Central 14, a sync error. And Jignesh, if you read about it, and the sync window shows you the exact error, it is around a custom index built by your customer on the sales invoice header table. Okay. So if you do you know about indexes?
There is something in Business Central. There is option like when we import an object, that is a build index or something. Are you talking about that index?
No. So what happens is when you create a key in Navision, okay, that key get translated into an index in SQL. Okay. And the way it works in SQL is against an index, the data gets sorted in that order. So if you have a key in Navision with, let's say, document type, document number, and let's say line number, for the sales line, just for example, an index will get created in SQL matching the same pattern. Okay, matching the same schema set as in the way you have written it. An index will be created, and that index is used during your read and write operation. Okay, so like, can you see my SQL right now?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, if you pick any table, let's say activity, these will have not much indexes, but let's come here maybe. Okay, so inside every table there is an index section where there are multiple indexes or one index. The clustered one is your primary key in your Navision. That becomes the clustered index in SQL. Okay. If you double click on it or go to its properties, let me see, it may come up. Yeah, here. So you'll see that it's unique and it's based on the primary key fields of that table. Okay. So all your keys in Navision are created as indexes of that table. Till this point, are you clear?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, here is a good example. So this is my primary key in Navision of bin content table, and these all are my secondary key in my Navision database. Sorry, let me open that again. Yeah. Okay. What's happening? As soon as I'm coming here. So these all are my secondary key in Navision, which is key number 6 is this. Based on the key fields that you have defined, an index is created based on the same order. So let me open Navision so that I can map you the same thing if I can. This is bin content. Okay. So here is my bin content table, and this is my key, which is matching to this index. Okay. But this does not limit people and customers specifically that they cannot create keys or indexes. So what they have done in their system is they have created a new index like this and said non-clustered index, and then defined the field over there. Okay. So they said, in this case, they said that I need, let's say, variant code, zone code, minimum quantity, just to pick randomly something. Okay. And then in your case, they have named is as something like this. It's not on sales invoice header, but they have named it like this. Okay. Now what happens when you do upgrade? And this is where your problem is. What happens when you do your upgrade? Uh, this table is getting replaced in nav with the new version table, right?
Yeah.
So when you import your nav 20, or sorry, BC14 table in your database behind, and when you run the sync, what the system tries to do is try to drop this table and then replace it with the new schema that comes with BC14.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it is trying to do that, it have already deleted all the base Microsoft indexes, because these all are coming from NAB, so they get deleted without any problem. But if you see this index is something which nav knows nothing about, because this is created from SQL, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, the Navision sync command is unable to delete this index, and that's why you have this error.
Oh,
So the summary of it is this: you should always, during an upgrade, before the sync, you should always, I prefer doing it, always delete all non-clustered index, and I'm emphasizing on the word non-clustered, from SQL. So all these table will have clustered and non-clustered index. You only need to delete all non-clustered index from your database, because they will get created again when you import your new objects of Business Central 14 in your case. Okay. And if you search for it, let's search for it, you'll find so many commands around delete all non-clustered index in SQL Server. First try it out, don't just run it. I'll have to find where mine is, but it will just, you'll run this command, something like this. Okay. And this will give you a SQL command which will have a drop thing. So let's quickly do that before we move ahead. So if I run this, is that query? Okay. paste it. Because it's print SQL, so I don't need to worry about it, because at the max it will print the command, it will not execute it. So when I run it, what is this? Drop index known as, okay, so there it showed only one. And why it showed only one? I'm on the data. Oh, maybe I'm at the table level. That's right. No, this is only showing me one. Maybe this is not the right command. But there are commands which will give you a long list of index dropping query. And once you delete all the non-clustered index and then try to sync it, they will, you know, uh, you will not face this error message. Does that make sense? I'll have
Yes.
to find that command somewhere, but there is a way, and I use it in most of the time whenever I get stuck something like this.
Uh, so
Yeah,
that I understood. But if I'm deleting that cluster non-cluster index,
non-clustered index.
yeah, and after I'm syncing, I can sync, or after all the process is done, then in the SQL, customer need to want that non-cluster index. So after that, what we need to do?
They need to create it again. I would
Okay.
tell them that if you need a non-clustered index, tell you what you need and you create it inside Navision, so that you don't get stuck with the same problem in future. I know
Okay,
they would
yeah.
have created it for some reason, but it's good to keep application changes inside your database rather than doing those changes in SQL. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me see. And execute is here. Is there a print? No. Let me do a print. Okay. Okay. I guess this is what I use, but let me see. There are some errors, but I'm pretty sure I have a command where there are no errors. Maybe these unknown characters in SQL are causing problems. But this thing work, as in this is a very common issue where customer create indexes in sometimes views also and procedures also. And there are options like this, where you can tell it what you want to delete, like do not delete stats, do not delete system indexes. So it filters out those which don't need to be deleted and only shows you commands for those which need to be deleted.
And one more query related that
Right.
this non-cluster index, at which step we should do? Like before doing anything, we should first
Yeah,
find
before
out and
starting your
delete.
migration, starting your migration, you should run it so that it drops all those.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe I'm at the last step to fix this. And here it is. It should show me all the non-cluster index. So yeah, it showed me 4070 rows. Okay.
Can you send me this command?
You just can refer to this blog.
Okay. Please send this link.
I'll add it into the recording.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go to the YouTube later, maybe tomorrow, and pick this command from there. And you just need to make sure that these dashes are converted to single quotes. That's what I changed.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So when you run, you actually will have to run this. So this will delete the command. This is I changed the execute to print so that I can see all. And I'll not delete these because these are system indexes, so these are not supposed to be deleted. I'll delete till here where the company name is there. Okay, so then I'll copy this and I'll create a new query. I'll make sure that I have the right database where I'm running it, and I have this query. You might have to change something. Okay, I understand it. You'll have to add these. So you don't want to do this here. So then what you want to do is you want to change where it's generating this command. In this query, there will be a place where it is generating this command. Let me show you where it is. Here. So you want to add an opening bracket here and then a closing bracket here. Because Navision table have spaces in the middle, right? So to club them, you just want to add those two lines and then you get all your drop commands here. Test it first on your test system. And then if you're sure about it, then run it on your actual migration. So now if I copy this, let me copy till here so that we can move ahead. Now there will be no errors. It will go ahead. Oh, there is an error. The drop one also comes in. Yeah. So how you can test it is you can come here, as in this is clustered, so I'll not do this. But if I come to here and I want to delete this, I can always say script index as drop to new query editor, and it'll show you what will be the drop command, which is this. Okay. So you can change the format in this area of the SQL query, which is somewhere here, the way Navision wants it. Like they want it like this, right? Or SQL wants it, sorry. And then you can change it to, let's say, this, which is drop index SQL equals to drop index this, and then the index name is coming from @name, and then plus, and use this. On this plus. Sorry guys, if I'm taking longer here. That makes sense at this point. Table name, and then something like this. So this will generate my drop query the way SQL wants it now. If I run it again now, it will come something like this. Okay. Copy it, say new query, and paste it here. I have done. Okay. So with this, I'm good to go with running this, and then those secondary indexes will get deleted. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Coming back to next one, and maybe I'll take this one later, but I'll give you some hints around it. I can't spell your name. It's a little bit tough for me, but it's around development approach with guidelines. So there is a Microsoft article around it where I'll redirect you to, and let me open those. One of them is this link, which tells you about the guidelines and rules for AL coding. It have everything like prefix and suffix, data classification, translation file, permission sets, permissions, application area, users category, upgrade procedures, profiles, and whatnot. And then there is another one which I think everybody should know, and I think most of you would know about it, is around the code analysis. And code analysis helps you drastically when you work with your apps, either for on-prem or SaaS. It helps you by showing you warnings around your code. And if the people here want to discuss more about it, I can walk you through once we complete our Q&A, and how workspace plays a great role while you're working with AL. So yeah, these would be the two links that I would suggest to read through and follow while you're writing your apps. and it will have everything. There are things here which also talks about specifically about SaaS apps, as in making an app for the SaaS environment, and you'll find all those links inside this area. So hope that will answer your question. If you have more questions, specific one, let me know. Moving to our second last question, this is around how to find which extension will install first. Example, I have a package which consists of 7 extensions. So Ramesh, I'm expecting that that extension is not built by you and you got it maybe from an ISV or a partner. In that case, they would be the right person to tell you which one goes in first and what is the order of those extension installation, because there is a dependency that is set on other extension, and if there is a dependency set, then first you need to install the baseline extension, and then on top of it all dependent extension will get installed. So it depends on the app developer or the company who have written all these 7 extensions. Talk to them, they'll be able to help you in understanding which one goes in first. Other way around is you can try installing them, and on the all dependent ones you will get some error and the baseline will get installed. And Manish, I see your hand raised. Anything you want to add here?
Yes, Saurav, I just need to add to it. We can also refer the deployment list, that is
Right.
through deployment status. From there, we can find out which extensions goes in first.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where this question was around. Is it on-prem or SaaS? Because that person just said BC.
Okay.
Ramesh just said BC, so I'm not sure what I'm suggesting. But if it's on SaaS, as Manish is saying, there is a deployment status which you can check. And for on-prem, your ISV should be able to help you with, or app partner should be able to help you that which extension get installed first and then what order it is. Okay, let's go to the last question that comes from Kevin, and his question is how to package or put together the objects of my module. Example, caps casual management module on my client side, and this is BC. So Kevin, I think you are talking about making an app around it, and once you make an app, that's the only thing that you package it together and make that app available to your client so that they can install it. If it is SaaS, then they can install it from the client. If it is on-prem, then they need to install it from the PowerShell. The only additional thing I'll refer for on-prem is that you can have a runtime package, which makes it easier for deploying, because then the dependency of having the license to install that app goes away. So that's another option. If you want to read more about it, there will be a link, and maybe I'll put it into the recording about generating the runtime package for your app. That makes it easier to install that app by your customer license also. Okay, so that was the questions for today. And now let's come to the favorite part of my call, which is where we'll open it for questions. So I'll go from top to bottom. If anybody wants to cover their question first, they can raise their hands. But right now, Jignesh, you have any other questions?
Yes.
Go ahead. Jignesh, you have a question?
Yes. I'm doing a data upgrade process, and at that time, the session is automatically. I'm checking the detail while what is the error in the data upgrade process. The session is automatically stopped. That is the error.
and where you are saying about it, where it is getting stopped, where you are
in
trying to check
the
the status.
in the administration cell, like I'm in PowerShell. If I'm writing a command that get nav data upgrade and this is a error only, the which is the
Hmm.
error in the data upgrade step, it is giving like session is stop.
Session is stopped. That is the error that you are getting.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that's the error you are getting, then and you are coming from which version to which version?
15 to Business Central 14 on premise.
Okay, so there is a long running process during that time, which is around updating item. So what
Okay.
happens in Business Central 14 and higher is that you have heard about these item categories in NAV, right? Item categories and product group,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happens at that point when you come from NAV 20, any other versions of NAV? I guess before 2016 was it? Yeah, no, 17 I guess. What happens at that point is the item category goes through a complete change of how they used to be in the past. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So in the earlier versions of Dynamics Nav, there were two tables: item categories and product group code. And
Yeah.
you can have multiple product group code against an item category, right? That was the relation between those two tables.
Yeah.
In I guess NAV 2017, and that's what I'm not sure at what point it changed. But in NAV 2017, the structure of the table has been changed, and now in the system there is only one table called item categories,
Yeah.
which handles both the item category and the legacy product group code. So during your upgrade, what happens is this in your NAV 2015 are your product group code, which are related
Mm.
to this item category in NAV 2015.
Mm.
So during your upgrade, all that product group data is also moved back to item category table and marked as a child item category. So the only difference in these two, or in the first one and the second line, is that this is marked as bold. And if you see behind the scene, this is the parent item category boolean set to true. Okay. And this one is the child item category, and the relationship is set of furniture as parent item category.
Mm.
So do you understand how that is
Yeah.
working now?
Yeah. Understand.
Okay. Now during upgrade, what happens, and this is a data related issue from customer, is some customer create blank item uh, blank item category and create product group code against it. That's one reason. Okay, that there in product group table in NAV 2015, you have records with where item category code is blank.
Mm.
Check that. Second thing is you have repeating product group code. So like you have chair inside furniture, and you also have chair, let's say under MISC, which is okay in NAV 2015 because there is a relation between two tables. But
Mm.
here the primary key is the code field. So you cannot have two chairs in the database, right?
Mm.
Based on primary key, right? Because if I create a new record with chair, it will give me an error that record already exists.
Mm.
So if there are repeating product group code in your NAV 2015, then system tries to append a random unique identifier here, which
Mm.
can take time and which can mess this data also. So the first thing that you need to do before any upgrade, that in NAV 2015 or whatever version you are coming from, you need to make sure two things: the product group table should not have any record where item category code is blank. Okay. Second, product group table should not have any repeating product group code. If there are any, then make them unique. Like if in your lab 2015 there are 2 chairs, change them to chair 1 or chair 2, or chair F for furniture and chair M for mist, so that they become unique. Okay.
Okay.
So that's one of the major data update that happens from 2015 to BC14. So that can be one time consuming process. The other thing that you need to do, if it is still a long running process, is before you start your upgrade or data migration, go to your service tier and extend this timeline, which is SQL command timeout. So right now it is set, by default it is set for 30 minutes. So if there is a SQL query which runs more than 30 minutes, the connection automatically breaks. So just for upgrade time, while you are upgrading this, make sure this is set to 11 hours and 30 minutes. Once your upgrade is over, change it back to 30 minutes. Okay.
Saurabh,
Yeah.
In a chat, I have sent an exact error that I got.
Okay, let me go there. And it says that the update vendor picture. Okay, the code unit. Due to the following error, the server is stopped at session ID 81 because of the stop session request. Okay. Update vendor pictures. Okay, so is that a? Do you have pictures in your vendor table? Maybe you have, because they also go through a change during the process. So let me try to find that. I'll take some time while doing that. So I'll come back to you in a minute. Okay. Let me go forward. Kiran, you have anything else for us today? Any other questions?
No, sir.
Okay.
I will
Good.
check for these two links, and after checking, I will let you know, sir.
Not a problem, sir. Okay. And Manish, you have any questions for today?
No, I'm good. Thank you, sir.
And Nathan, I have a question, so we'll come to you, Nathan, in a while. Tanya, you have a question?
Hello, sir. Yeah, I have a question. Actually, it's a very basic one, I must say. But okay, so vendors, should I ask? Uh,
Go ahead.
yeah. So actually, the thing is, I was on the sales order page. So I wanted to know, when does the page know I am just going to update, or when I hover the mouse over any field, I'm going to change the value. So the scenario, basically, I have a situation here. So I'm the sales order page, and I have a address field, right? So I'm an address field. So I am trying to update the address. So as soon I update the address, and so this is one customization, and I have another field that is a boolean. So that boolean gets ticked up. That's true then. So I want, whenever I'm changing the address, that field, that boolean value should get checked. So I was getting a little confused that when does the card knows that I'm going to, edit some value on the field.
Okay, so the best thing that I'll do at that point is use my on modify. Okay, not on the field, on the table.
On the table.
Yeah, on the table there is a on modify trigger, right?
Yeah.
So, and the best thing that I think where you get the example, if you look at a nav, is on item table. Check the on. It is on modify. I guess yes. That there used to be, now it's not there, I guess, but earlier there used to be a huge if statement. If this is not equal to this, then do this,
Okay.
right? Because anytime you change a value, your on modify will be triggered, and at that time you can check that your rec of that address field, is it equal to x rec or not, and if not, then you can set that value.
All right. So it's an on modify. I can check it on the item table as well.
Now in
Is
the
it?
latest versions of nav, I don't see that code, but in older versions of nav I have seen that huge code on
Can you
modify.
share on 2013 R2? Because I have that, in fact.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, maybe it's there at that time. So yeah, and maybe on vendor table is still there like this,
Like,
right? And then it does something if any of these values are changed. So let's say you just want for the address, then you can say address is not equal to x rec of address or whatever your address fields are, and then set that value which you want to set. Because there are two benefits of keeping it on modify, that even if somebody is trying to change it from code, your on modifier will still fire, just not on from the page, right?
so that means this is on the table level, right? If I want it on a page level, would that work?
It will work on
In
the page level.
what trigger I should write the code then? I was getting
Sorry,
confused on the page level.
I'm pretty sure you can write it on page level. I'll have to check. Yeah, on modify, I'll have to check where that example will be. But the only thing is that if you write it on page, then you are limiting that execution of that code only from the page. If somebody tries to update that data from an API or from any external sources, from web services,
Mm-hmm.
then your code, if it is not on that API page and all, will be skipped. But if it is on the table, it will be called all the time.
All right. Yeah, yeah. Because actually we are also calling the web service there. So
Yeah.
then
So
the
if it
table.
is from this, if the web service is on the based on the same page, that's
Mhm.
okay. But if there is a separate page for the web services, then maybe your code will not be called. Not maybe, it will not be called if it is on the page.
So then the best would be that I could play it on the table
You
level,
should
right?
always try to keep the first place where you should keep the code is tables.
Yeah.
That's the easy. We should have our pages as light as they can be.
Yeah. Some strict, matlab, we should not include restrictions, so many restrictions, right? On the table
Yeah,
level.
as in the reason is, then you are only write anything that you write on page, you are limiting it for an user interface to execute it.
Yeah.
If there is a job queue that's running, it will not go and read the code in the page,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I got it.
at any point, if there is a code unit that is doing some update on that address, it will not call that page or read the code from page. So that's why it's very important that if you place your code into the right place, which is tables, I prefer, then you are very sure that it will run.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can ask one other one. Like
Just
this.
maybe I'll come back to you in a
Yeah.
minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Shahid, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, I have one question actually. I'm similar to maybe the previous question. Actually, I like to, as with my previous question, it was linked with that. Because I added a new description in purchase order, and I like to populate the. I mean, when I choose the item, and from the item, I should populate the item description, new description in the new field.
Okay, that would be simple if you and I don't know what you want to do,
Actually,
but
what I did, just you confirm me that the right process or not. Actually, I write the code in on modify of the table for that item. I mean that column, and I place the the case code, and based on the case, like if it is item, then I populate this item record, and populate the field as well. I mean the new description field.
So you should actually subscribe to purchase line number field validate trigger.
Okay.
Okay, on after validate. So once it gets validated and it is an item record, then you can do whatever you want to do at that point, right?
Okay, on validate.
On validate of the purchase line number field.
Yes. Okay.
So when the number get validated, it's either item, GL account, comment, or if there is a new option, right?
Yes.
So if I'm not wrong, there is uh, there is an event once the assignment happens on the number, and if I'm not wrong, that event is called on after assign field for number. Let me open my NAB and it'll be there. Let me see. Yeah, right, something like this. Yeah. So once your number get validated and your case is selected, which is type item or GL account and all, and Microsoft
Yes.
code is called, then there is this event, which is on after assigning of fields for number. Then you get the rec, which is current record. You'll get the item number, and you also get the purchase item record. If you are only planning it for write for item, then in this area of copy from item, there will be an event, which is on copy from item on after check. So this is just the check, and then these values are coming from item, right? So at this point, you can consume this and set your rec dot whatever your custom field is to equal to item description. Does that make sense, right?
Yes. Yeah.
There are more options available. If you are keeping it for everybody, as in for all line options, then use this. If you want to do something for GL account also, standard text, item, fix asset and everything, then use this. If you are only doing it for item, then use either this, or at the end there is one more on after assign item values. And then you can set your custom field, because you are also getting the rec and you are also getting the item variable. So you have the purchase line also and item also. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So going back in queue. Okay. Tanya, you had a question while I'm working on the other question.
Yes, sir. This was if somebody is or as in done the implementation over click once.
Click once.
Yeah, actually, I was doing one for 2013 R2 click once configuration, and they had I followed every step as in, but there was this error coming regarding the certificate. So I'll just send you the error. What was it? So if anybody just figure out what, though
I
the
have
error is
used it
not very much
a
stable.
long while ago. I used it in past, but I don't know now what has been changed. But
I made the manifest for the application manifest and the deployment manifest properly, but this was related to the certificate. I am just assuring it.
the online connection was closed, could not establish a trust SSL secure channel. The remote certificate is invalid according to the validation process.
I'm
Hackers,
definitely
I
missing
don't.
something.
As in others, do anybody have used it? I used it once or twice. I'm not sure. No. Anybody else, guys? Okay, nobody have heard about it,
No,
Tanya.
sir.
I might have to see if I can find something for you, but so there is one discussion in the community around it. Remote certificate is valid. Oh, this is SMPT. Sorry, the right one. Yeah, I'll have to see, Tanya, if I can find something around it.
Not a problem, no issues. I was just figuring out that I'm missing something out of this because though I
I
was
worked on it, but pretty
just
old now on that. I'll check if I find something. Okay, and then coming up, Sahid, you have anything else before I move up? Okay. Uh, okay. Nathan, just give me a second. I'll just complete Jignesh question. Jignesh, yeah. Jignesh, your question was around this. You are getting error at this point, and this is the upgrade code unit that I just opened.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you see what's happening, nothing here is just picking the picture from your vendor and then converting it to the media, which is the new data type introduced in BC 13, I guess, or starting now 2018. Okay. All the pictures are now converted to media in most of the tables, not everywhere. Like company information is still blob, but these
Mm.
uh, blob fields are now converted to media, and that conversion happens during your upgrade. Now, if your customer have multiple vendors with pictures, this step will take time. Okay?
Okay.
It's just based on how much data is there to support this. So the first thing that I'll do is, as I said earlier, I'll increase this timeout here and then try again. Okay. Because this process will execute, and based on how much data is there, will that data will get converted and imported back in the database. Okay.
Okay.
So first increase this, then restart your service, then continue your process. Let's see what happens. Otherwise, just send me an email. I'll keep an eye on it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
now,
Saurabh,
yeah.
just one second. For this type of error, I have received for like six time for different table, like update customer picture, update vendor picture, update
Right.
approval management,
Right.
and update jobs. For this four function, I have get
Mm-hmm.
the error like because of stop session request. The server
Right.
stop the session, and because of the stop session request is generated. And I already, as you mentioned, that I already increased the time SQL command timeout, that is 10 hours and 30 minutes, but
Mm-hmm.
somehow still getting error. Let me check once
Is
again,
it
like increase more.
is your SQL and the service tier are on the same box, or they are on the different machines?
Uh, s- when I'm,
As it
t-
SQL
yeah,
server
yeah, you are
and
right.
app server are on the same machine or different?
Different, like service on different server and SQL database on different server.
Okay, I always prefer, and if it is possible, just for the upgrade time, use one box.
Yeah.
The another cause of your session drop may be that your SQL or your connection to your SQL server is breaking in the middle.
Okay.
There can be so many things when you are doing the upgrade within a network where both the machines. As in, I'll give you an example from a live, real upgrade, go live that I was doing. On the test migration, when I did it on the upgrade server that we create, the process was the whole upgrade was supposed to complete in 8 hours, which is, we don't even think about it, that those are that small. So normally we keep a backup resource if a upgrade goes more than 30 hours or so. But that was 8 hours, and I said, okay, not a problem. I'll do it on Friday night, and you'll have a database on your Saturday morning. I started Friday night after my dinner, and for first 6 hours, it was stuck in step 1. It was running, but the speed was 20 times slower than I did it for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay. And I had no idea what was happening. And my customer was sleeping at that time. So I was struggling through it. I had no other way. The thing that I did is I ran the ping. And when I ran the ping from my app server to my database server, I found out that they are at completely differently placed differently in different cities in one country. In this case, it was US. The app server was on East Coast and the database server was on West Coast. Now, as soon as I click a button to execute a process, the command was executing on East Coast, and then that command was being sent to SQL Server on West Coast to complete it. And then West Coast was replying to East Coast that I have completed this part, send me the next query.
Oh.
So after 6 hours, I said, okay, I'm losing what I've planned. So I stopped my process, went back to the SQL Server, had nav over there installed already, ran the process over there. It completed exactly in 8 hours, the way I thought about it, because everything was on the same box, in the same machine, in the same location. So the network time or the lag time was nearly zero. So network can be a problem during your upgrade if you have things on different boxes.
Currently, I'm yes, you are right. Currently, I'm upgrading a like database that is a very huge. That is a 247 GB.
Okay. Yeah, that we have done upgrades, as in the recent one, the big one that we have done last year is 1.5 or 1.6 terabyte.
Oh.
And it all is possible, but if your servers, your settings, your upgrade paths, or everything is written very well. So yeah, database size is a factor if you are coming from very old versions, but after 2013 they are very smooth, very less time consuming if your configuration on your server and your environment is set up correctly for the upgrade.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So just Saurav,
go ahead.
Last very small point, I think. I got one error that UPG item does not exist. When we do upgrade, sometime we got that error that UPG item does not exist.
Okay, that's because during your sync, what happens is, as I told you about item category and others earlier, right? So what happens is, due to the sync statement which is written in this code unit, which is this, okay? So if you see, there is a table called UPG item that is part of the upgrade toolkit. Okay. And when the sync runs, it is supposed to copy the data from item table to the UPG item table. Okay.
Yeah.
If there are sync issues, in some cases, it doesn't transfer the data from item to UPG item. And the reason why it's needed on UPG item is all your item related updates are done based on UPG item.
Okay.
So the way upgrades are handled is this. All these temp tables are being created by Microsoft, which are called as upgrade table. and they hold the data that is going to be changed in this upgrade.
Yeah,
So when you
you're
come
right.
from 2015 to BC14, all this data is going to change in respect to item. So the data that will cause problem in your sync actually get moved to these upgrade table using that one single line of sync command. And then in your
Mm-hmm.
upgrade, you write Microsoft have written code around this UPG item to push it back to the actual tables by modifying that data the way Microsoft think it should be modified. Like if you see UPG item, you will see that the item has some changes like image, and then this is what I was talking to you about. Item template is being created, okay, and then product group. This all is based on that item. So that is
Okay,
sourced from upgrade item function.
understood.
Yeah, that all happens around that. So if your sync have issues, it might not have moved the data, and which is a good error to know so that you can go back and run your sync correctly again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
welcome, man. Okay, sorry, Nathan, in being a delay, but now let's talk about your thing. And anybody else want to drop? Feel free. If you want to hear what Nathan have to say, stay. Nathan, we
Yeah,
can't hear you yet.
yeah. Hi guys, this is Nitin. I was checking out if anyone is, know about ban sale process in Navision. We have some secondary customer. The primary customer is we are willing to, that is primary customer, and there are some secondary customer also. The primary customer is billing to some other party. We call secondary customer. How we can manage in Navision? We are looking if maybe there are some app through app or some customization is possible.
So yeah, guys, feel free if you have any thoughts around secondary sales or van sales in Navision, or anybody have worked around it.
Actually, this requirement is from pharma division.
Right, I heard about it in the past, and when I was searching about it right now, I saw a reference on my Busu called Dynamics Mobile Van
Yeah,
Sales
right,
and Distribution.
right. Dynamic Mobile, we had a demo with them, but this
Okay,
they actually what they do, they transfer the stock. Like if like primary sale, they use transfer order. They will create a location like ban sale location. They will transfer the stock, and from there they can do the billing. But that is also a primary customer for me.
okay,
That is ban sale they have, but they are not treating as a customer to as a secondary sales. I don't want to maintain any data with the finance for secondary customer.
okay.
My finance will be for primary customers only. I want to just maintain history for secondary customer, not for
Okay.
finance purpose.
I was reading around secondary sales
And
here on one of the forum,
okay,
and Alexander, one of the MVP from Russia, I guess, he said that we have had couples of this kind of project. Finally, it ended up a structure where distributors were sending their sales info in text files via web services.
right.
As SKU, product metrics, distribution, product metrics, and sale.
That they are not.
Uh, as in, that's sure a specific thing that if nobody have else have heard it.
Can we not use like some Power App solution? We'll develop a app and then we can have some tables where we can add data.
You can. Which version you are talking about?
16.
16 and Power Apps. I'll have to check, but if it is possible, then you can.
Because the dynamic mobile, they have the solution, but they required also customization. And second part, every users require Microsoft dynamic license as well.
Right.
For 14 users, 45 users, we have to provide the license.
Yeah, licensing is itself a separate thing to talk about, but yeah.
We were looking like this party app, where we can do some API kind of thing for primary sale. We don't want to integrate full thing. If we want to keep a separate table for that, we can. For secondary customer, we don't want to map with the netizen. We are okay with that. If the customization is not possible for secondary sale, we are okay. But with primary customer, we can do.
You are breaking, Nitin, but maybe let's see if in the next meeting somebody else is here who have heard about it. I don't
Sure.
see the current crowd here knows anything about it.
I will drop you also a mail with the details.
Okay, if I know something, I'll let you know. That's not a
Sure, sure.
problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything before we leave for the day? Nothing? Okay,
Thank
so thank you guys. Thank you for being here. And
Thank you.
we'll see you next week when you guys, if you guys can join next week.
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you, Saurabh.
Very
Okay,
welcome.
man.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.